And we are rolling with FINNEAS as our guest. Hi.
Hi, man. Nice to meet you, Aiden.
It's nice to meet you as well.
What's in your hair? Your hair looks like very, well-styled.
Thank you very much.
What's the product regimen? Is it just greasy, or is it
whatever I could find to make this work? This is the quarantine hair, so this is an experiment in progress.
I'm also rocking, I haven't gotten a haircut in some time, so it's kind of got a, there's a lot of it. There's a bunch. I haven't gotten a haircut in a couple months out of sort of, caution, abundance of caution.
Yeah.
But my sort of barber, so to speak, Joseph, I had him come a couple times, and we'd both wear masks. But, now that the numbers are so high, I'm, not really doing anything. The 2 times I had him come cut my hair, it was, the 2 hottest days of the summer. It was just I was sweating, and when you get a trim and all the little pieces when they thin out your hair a little bit,
it's all sticking to your face.
All over it was intense.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We're about to travel back to Toronto to shoot another season, so production's figuring out a way of shooting a television show safely, which
I've heard Canada has that the 2-week rule, right, where you are hotel bound, and if you leave, it's $1 million fine and a year in prison or something.
I think
incredibly
it's
intense.
$700,000 and 6 months in prison.
That's a good deterrent. I would not.
I would
want
say
to
so.
do those 2 things. Yeah. Are you looking forward to shooting a show, or are you a little apprehensive about shooting it during COVID times, because obviously you shot the first season not during COVID? What's your feeling going into it?
The latter. I mean, obviously, I think I'm going to be more comfortable, a couple months in, once we're familiar with the procedure and everything. But for the most part, what I can tell, we're being as safe as we can. So,
that's good.
We're hyper cautious. We've been quarantined at the house pretty much since February. So we only ever go for drives, or my dad and I have electric bikes, so we'll cruise around. But that's
Do you have those Super 73s? Is that what you have?
No. We have this thing called a Zugo.
Claudia and I got Super 73s at some point during COVID for the same reason. We were like, this will be fun. And it is really fun, but our neighborhood is very hilly, and we found that their battery lives were not stupendous. They die pretty quick.
Ours lasts okay if we're going up into... One time we rode it from where we live down to Malibu, and then got stuck on the way back because the battery ran out. We still took it up mountains and everything. It was pretty...
Wow.
We went a pretty long distance. Yeah, so we also have we have a mount in the back with baskets, so we can carry an extra battery now, but the whole point is kind of mute because we're going up to Toronto, so we're not going to have the bikes anyways.
Do you take your dad with you to Toronto?
Whole family. Try not to split it up.
That's so fun.
Yeah. We've all been sort of part of the process as it evolved. I think, 8 months shooting in Canada would be hard.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I tour with Billy, it's because she's been, up until this past year, she's been underage, and even now she likes the support. We bring our mom and dad on the road with us, which is super fun for me, because I'm a homesick person in general, so having my folks there is really nice. And then when I do solo runs, I can't justify being a 23-year-old and bringing mom and dad on a club tour, so they stay. And it's sort of fun in a different way, because it's a little bit rowdier on my own runs, because mom and dad aren't in the green room.
I haven't actually toured yet, so I'm a little curious. I like travel. I am also 17, so I haven't gotten out and broadened my horizons just yet. So I like the idea of travel, but I've heard touring can be a little maddening, just constantly being on the road in different time zones and such.
Yeah, it can be, and it's not the sort of vagabond, see the world kind of experience that you might fantasize about. It's, you see a lot of venues and a lot of hotel lobbies and a lot of hotel showers, and that's kind of it. A lot of the time you just don't get any time to see anywhere. And I get off a little easy because at least I can go out and see the world when I want to. But Billy doesn't have that luxury, obviously, because she's too recognizable. It's much more challenging. When she wants to go out and grab a coffee or a sandwich or whatever, it's a whole ordeal. And if I get out like a back way, if I sneak out in a way where like the kids in line can't see me, then I'm golden. I get to like walk around the city, and it's super fun. Nice. But being
she's
wildly
quarantine ready.
Famous, she is. Being wildly famous is like not all that it's cracked up to be in my observation. I think being moderately famous is fabulous. I think like one person a day being like, hey, you're from that show, or you make this album, that's awesome. But if it's preventative in like going to a Whole Foods or a coffee shop or something casual, then it's no joy.
Is it probably not at her level, but I'd imagine like maybe somewhere like New York might be easier, but probably
maybe
not.
I mean, the short answer is yes. The hardest places for us to go to are like anywhere where you're like a sitting duck, if that makes sense. Like,
got it.
The example that comes to mind was like, this was a while ago, but Billy and I went and saw an artist at the Hollywood Bowl a couple of summers ago, and like when you're sitting in a seat at the bowl and it's like summertime and so it's still daylight, everyone can just see you, the whole night is like just people coming up to you in the middle of the concert and being like, hey, can I get a picture? Yeah. And you're like, and we didn't have security yet, and so I was kind of like default like older brother security, so I was just like sir, like, and in fact I always forget his name. He's like some like Real Housewives star type person, and he came up to Billy and was like, what's up? And I didn't recognize him because I don't watch like reality TV, and I was like, sir, excuse me, sir. And he's like probably equally famous at the time, and so I just felt sort of bad because I think he'd expected to be more warmly welcomed than I gave him.
Trying to think of
who it would be.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up.